Welcome to Are We Old? The show featuring two comedians getting nostalgic and tackling life's toughest question, Are we old? Here's your hosts, Mike Finoia and Charles McBee.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Are We Old podcast holiday series. I'm Mike Finoia.
What up, everybody? I'm Charles McBee.
Hi, Charles.
What's happening, Captain?
It's good to see you, dude.
Yeah, man. Good to see you too, man.
Been a hot minute. We've been all over this country, you and me.
That's what we do. We signed up for this, man. We are all over this united, united country of ours.
Yeah, united is right. Everyone, thank you so much for all of the love, all the comments, all the likes and shares of the clips and everything. We really appreciate it. You can find us at Are We Old on the socials, at Are We Old Pod on YouTube, where you can see all these videos and watch clips, and patreon.com/Are We Old Podcast for bonus content. And if you're listening, like us, share us, subscribe us, rate, review. It all goes a very long way. It's a little click of your thumb, and it means the world to us here in Podcastville. So thank you. And we got a couple of messages, so we're going to share one at the end of this episode. But we are in our Christmas spirit in the pouring rain and 60-degree fog here in the Northeast.
That's right. Keep spraying those aerosol cans into the air, everybody. Let's do it. Let's rock out. We're going to go out. Let's go out with a bang, damn it.
Yeah, man. I'm dreaming of a gray, cloudy Christmas, I think is what it is.
That's right. That's right.
Remember when it used to snow, Charles?
I vaguely remember snow. I vaguely remember it. I think it comes like now, like snow has become like spring. You know how spring is like 4 days, and then and then it's like, wait, what? Now that's what snow is. We'll get hit. I mean, unless you're in like Buffalo or like Cleveland, you're like right off a lake or something.
Yeah.
But other than that, you'll get snow for a good snow for like 3 days, and we're back in business.
And up there too, you guys would get lake effect snow. Those big, fat, fluffy flakes. That's fun snow. That's great snowball snow,
bro. You remember? Let's do a little throwback right here. Do you remember a proper snow day?
Let's
like
talk about
how excited we would get for a snow day, because snow days back in the day, I don't know how it is now. First of all, the technology. First of all, now I think they just stay home and go online, which is just the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Making kids stay home on a snow day and still go to school is like that's
the worst
behavior.
Yeah,
to the highest degree.
Before you go on, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Our teachers never even thought to call us or call our families and go, oh, if you have your social studies book home, read chapter 8 and do questions 1, 2, and 6. Go to hell.
Are you crazy?
You're out of your mind. Our parents would go, what's up with this idiot?
Absolutely asinine to even suggest such a thing is abafango.
Yeah, my parents would be like, yo, he's got driveways, plural, to shovel. He's got to go make money right now. You kidding me? All this
Your day off was not a day off.
No. Day off was like this. That's how I learned that I like black coffee out of a thermos and Camel Light cigarettes. I drink eating a salami and cheese out of an empty an extra lunchbox my dad left around the house. That was work day.
Oh my God, hilarious!
Why did you shovel or did you have? Well, wait a minute. Didn't you have an uncle that had a landscape company? Did he have a plow?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
But he he never plowed our driveway.
That's almost worse.
Yeah, so I shoveled, but I liked it. Like I remember we talked about this before. I liked outdoor chores and stuff like that. I felt like a man. I don't know. It felt fun to me. So I enjoyed shoveling the snow. I like throwing salt on the driveway. Like it was like that was fun for me. So I didn't mind like getting up early and shoveling the snow. And then like when I was I got a little older, when I was old enough to drive, I would go to like elder, like my grandmother, obviously, when my grandfather passed away, and then like other like her friends, and I would go and shovel their snows and stuff like that.
What
Me
a
and my dad
sweetheart.
would do that. But yeah, yes, proper snow days. I mean, it was a little bit of a chores for me in that sense, but other than that, when I was a kid, oh, forget about it. It was oh, a time was had. A
A
time
time
was had,
a
my
time was
friend.
had, and that's when snow was snow. And now let's just back up to the night before a snow day, okay?
Yeah,
When the weather forecast, as a child, all of a sudden your little child brain started to connect.
we
The
became
antenna came out.
meteorologists.
Beep 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 beep. Yeah, all of a sudden I'm caring what Dr. Mel's talking about, right? I'm tuned in. I'm looking at the ticker. This
The
was the
ticker.
beginning of the ticker. Guys, all you kids now, that breaking news. There was no such thing as breaking news when we were
No.
kids, except on snow days when your local channel, shout out Channel 8, WTNH New Haven, they would have a little ticker on the bottom that said towns in alphabetical order.
Order, baby.
Oh, Andover, Ansonia, Brantford, Cheshire, Derby. And you're watching it go by and you're like, here we
Come
come.
on. Come on.
And you'd go, and you'd start seeing towns near you going 90-minute delay, 2-hour delay, and you're like, no, shit. And then you'd see, no parking ban and all these things. Like the local shit would be closed, and then you're like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance, and then you'd see
Mm-hmm.
canceled. Yeah,
That was it,
and you
baby.
stayed up all night that night. Oh my God, dude.
That
When
was
they
it, baby.
canceled school the night before,
Oh, the night before was
that was
something
New
else.
Year's Eve. That was New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the
You
night
stayed out,
before.
you just threw like 4 Pop-Tarts in the toaster oven. You just made a pile of movies you were going to watch. You laid out like a plan for what you were going to do the next day with your friends in the neighborhood. But if you woke up in the morning to a fresh coat of snow and you looked out, would your mom wake you up and go, school's canceled?
She wouldn't necessarily say, she might, but I would already like I would wake up. So what would happen is I'd wake up realizing that I slept in a little bit, because my mom, sweetest person in the world, but she was vicious. She would come in and flick the light switch, and just, it was something about that flick that was just so, I felt it was so heartless. It was just like, I mean, it would just be just come in, boom, get up. It was just like, there was no, hey, sweetie,
Interrogation room.
Yeah, it was like the Joker, like the Dark Knight, when the Joker's just like, not so easy in the eyes. Like,
shaking you from your Christmassy slumber.
oh, it would be the worst. Every morning it was like that. So whenever I would actually wake up and it'd be like, like I actually woke up on my own, I'd be like, wait a minute, something's afoot. All right.
And then you're like, yo, is it Saturday?
Yeah. And then I'd look outside and I'd be like, oh, it is game time, baby. Especially, here's how much I'm a piece of shit. Because 9.999 times out of 10, whatever homework I had due that day, I hadn't done.
Mm-hmm.
And so your initial brain is like, oh, I got an extra day. I'm going to get this homework done. No homework was done.
No.
And I'm like, by tonight, God has given me this, his grace and mercy has bestowed upon me that I have this extra time to study for that test, that quiz that we were supposed to have today. I'm going to use this time to really cash in on that. No. Woke up the next morning,
Panicking.
like, well, fuck
and
me.
you're like, now I'm in double trouble because I had extra time to do that
Extra time.
homework. Yep. No, of course. And it's so fun to think about, like, man, everybody came outside and it was just like, all right, what are we doing to this neighborhood? It was like we were handed a new earth to play with. Everything was covered over. Are we doing forts? Are we doing snowball fights? Are we sledding? Are we riding our bikes to like some weird place that normally if we rode down this hill, we'd break our necks, but now we're just going to shoot our eye out or whatever. It was so fun and so new. And I remember there being one snow day, dude, in particular. Okay. I had just moved into a new house and they plowed like the plow went down the street and it just made like, dude, a wall. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm talking like 3 feet of like hard, icy slush, but the inside was like soft and shovelable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went in and I made like, I made a house, dude. This thing was standing for probably like 3 or 4 days. It was one of those really cold winters where we kept getting snow on top. But when you got in it, you could like take your coat off and like stretch out. Like it was a massive fort,
Right.
massive. And they did it on the other side of the yard, on the other side of the street, I mean. And there's an old dude that lived there. And we asked him, yo, can we like make a fort in your yard too? Because we want to have them like across the street from each other. And he's like, yeah, of course. So we built these 2 mammoth forts and loaded the inside with like, dude, I'm talking perfect baseball snowballs, like 50 of them each, you
Yeah.
know? And he didn't know that we were going to just be like blindly launching icy rockets at his house. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like after a while, after he caught a couple heaters off the front door,
Yeah.
he's like, guys, you can do your fort thing, but just please don't like break a window or whatever. And,
Yeah.
which, you know, we had to take a more of a high route, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
throw
yeah.
blobbers up. But, man, we were drilling cars left and right. We were drilling anybody that came outside, we would just launch shit. I mean, I made like a thermos of hot chocolate and went and hung out in there for like the whole day. It was the greatest. That day feels like a year in my
Yeah.
memory. You know what
That's
I mean?
great, man. Yeah, that's a great unlock right there. An
Yeah, dude.
unlock memory right there.
Oh God, I loved it so much. What was your like first fun game? Like, would you and your sister go out and play, or was it you and your buddies in the neighborhood? Was it a snowman? What would you do?
No, I do recall when I was a kid, probably maybe time ages blur the older you get,
Hmm.
but I do recall the snow angel phase. I remember the snow angel days. We would go out, me and my sister, and we would go out and make snow angels. I do recall trying to make a snowman at one point. There was no carrot. I didn't have a carrot, so it was just, and they were never pristine. Never. It was
No.
just, oh, this god awful piece of shit of a snowman. And then obviously, and then as time would go by, it would just be black and and
Yeah, just sticks and
cruddy over.
grass and dirt. Yeah.
Oh God.
Mm.
No, most of my winter days were spent indoors in front of the TV or on video games. Like I was so in love with TV back in the day because it was my escapism.
Mm.
And so I had my lineup of like cartoons or shows or whatever, or I was just on video games playing, Sonic the Hedgehog all damn day.
All day.
And that was it. And it was just like, and eating junk food and just, gushers and fruit roll-ups and
Waffles for lunch.
and just rocking out.
Dude, it's so funny that you say, like, I was just thinking about like a snowman on day 4 looked like a fentanyl addict. Like it was just like covered in like gross, it like whatever flannel shirt that you grabbed from the closet to put on the thing was like hanging off of him like 3 sizes too big. All of a sudden he's smoking cigarettes. His like skinny twig arms look like a junkie just like hanging out, and it's all like just dying on the
Let's go to Penn Station at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
To see a bunch of living, breathing
Day 4
snowman. Abysmal is more like it.
Abysmal snowman. Seriously. That's great, dude. That's so funny. That's where the ghosts of our old snowmen now haunt freaking Penn Station at 3 a.m.
Yep.
Port Authority.
Oh God.
So you'd play your games and you'd watch everything. Now, what came on the other day and I wanted to talk with you about it was and I think it might be it has to be the most classic story of Christmas because it's been done so many times is A Christmas Carol.
That's right.
Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. Now,
I'd always used to giggle whenever I would hear Charles Dickens.
Dickens, Charles Dickens. What a silly name. That came out, I think he wrote that, and like I don't remember if it was in the paper or something, But what an incredibly like weird thing. Like he just
Feels
wrote a
like
story.
before Christ to me.
I know. It was in the 1800s, I think, or something like that.
Something crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, he came before like Ebenezer Scrooge came before Jesus.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
have been
man.
funny if Jesus was one of the ghosts that. So
The Holy Ghost. Of
the
Christmas,
Holy
yeah.
Ghost,
Christmas
you will be
past.
visited by gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Look, churches do this story. Local community theaters do this
It's a great story.
Huh?
It's a great story. It's
It's
one
a
of the
great
best stories.
story.
It's so
It is.
simplistic, yet which is the genius of it. It's
Mhm.
a simple story, right? That is not. It has no time. You don't need to be in a period of time to get the gist of the story. Don't be a dick, Charles Dickens. Don't be a Charles Dickens.
Don't be
Well,
a
you can
dick,
be a Charles
Ebenezer
Dickens, but
Scrooge.
don't be a dick.
I love the line that it says Marley was dead to begin with. That's the first line of the whole thing, and I'm like, ooh, I'm into this. Well, who is Marley, right? So, yeah, Ebenezer Scrooge and Jacob Marley were business partners, and they have this employee by the name of Charles.
Wait. Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, and Marley was the partner that died, right?
That died.
Oh yeah, and then Cracker. No, Crackit. No, wait. What the fuck is? Who worked for him? Tiny Tim and what was
Tiny Tim was the son of the employee.
And who's the dad?
Bob Cratchit.
Yeah, Cratchit. I knew it was something. Cracker.
Yes,
Cratchit.
Bob Cratchit.
Something.
And he was working away in the cold, and the oven was cold, and Cratchit goes, Mr. Marley, it is, or Mr. Scrooge, it's cold. Can I put another coal on the fire? And he's like, no, I'm going to dock it from your pay.
You know how much that coals cost?
You know how much coal is? What do you think this is?
What are you, insane?
This is England in the 1800s. You know, coal is like Bitcoin.
I'm surprised Scrooge wasn't taken out by an assassin.
Hey, I mean, me too. Me too. You know, Big Cole may have to take down one of their own.
Big Cole. If Scrooge hadn't gotten his shit together in time.
Hey, we never found out how Marley died, Charles. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Could have been an inside. Could have been an inside job. So, yeah, Big Cole, you do not F with.
Oh yeah.
The Pfizer of heating implements. That is hilarious. Okay. Bob Cratchit. Tiny Tim was the least of his worries.
There was a hidden character, Luigi.
It's a me, Luigi.
It's a me.
I mean, just a side note.
Yeah.
How funny that it's Luigi. I mean, the
Aye,
brother of Mario.
Oh, God.
Maybe if he got Princess Peach, dude, he wouldn't have been so angry and shot a CEO.
Listen, it is what it is. However,
we digress.
You know,
that's going to be the new. That's going to be the new like OJ trial, Menendez brothers. Like this is going to be a thing.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah,
because unlike the OJ trial, Menendez brothers, I don't think the Menendez brothers initially had. Maybe they did. I mean, every killer has fans or whatever, but it was like we looked at them back in the day as like, oh, these are horrible human beings that should never see the light of day. And then OJ, it was a racial split, so like black people loved them, white people hated them, whatever. But this is, I mean,
people are like,
if ever there were, this is like he's like Joker. He's like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. It's just like he committed this crime, and then this society almost as a whole is just like they're gonna break this kid out of jail. They're gonna break him out of prison.
It's insane. Do you think about the love letters he's gonna get in prison?
Oh. And he's a good looking, like he's a hunk. Oh, forget about it.
He is. Now there's pictures of him with 47 pack abs and his Greg Brady curls. Yeah, it's
forget about it.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the first convicted murderer with an OnlyFans. You can bid on his fruit cocktail. I don't know what the hell to think. And then you read and then you get into the conspiracy stuff, and they're like, well, this guy's unibrow doesn't match the other guy's unibrow, so it's not him. And I'm like,
No, it's him. I only say that because he did a perp walk into the and that was stupid for him to. I mean, if
He
there
gave
was
himself
ever
up.
anything that was going to get him off, like that was
it.
Also, you don't keep the freaking. I mean, listen, you don't keep the freaking fake ID that you use to check into the daggone. I was going to say brothel, hostel. You choose to check into the hostel and a manifesto. Like, what are we doing? What are you, a Batman villain from the 1940s? Like,
yeah, don't you learn from all the other? I mean, yeah, that wasn't very good. And where's he? Altoona, Pennsylvania, or some shit?
yeah.
Why aren't you in Maui? Why aren't you in like South America?
McDonald's?
Yeah, I don't know.
And
Man.
and you got money. Your family has money. Like, get the hell out of there.
I know. He should be in Antarctica in a penguin suit right now, dude. Hiding out. But we digress.
The
Christmas Carol
yes.
is a story about corporate greed and big coal and how they knocked off Jacob Marley.
Right.
And now it's up to Ebenezer Scrooge to keep the corporate evil legacy going. And Bob Cratchit, their one lowly employee on Christmas Eve, is working, and his fire goes out, and he's like, come on, man, give me a coal. And
he's like, nah, not
Scrooge
going to
goes, blow into your hands, dude.
This story has been told many a times. Do you have any particular, because I got a couple, like, versions of this that you, like, either look forward to or just stick out in your mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Disney one.
With Scrooge McDuck? Or the
the old one, the early one that they used to do.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Oh, who was in that? Who played?
Well, the Muppets is number one.
Muppets is always number one.
Muppets is number one. I mean that one is just incredible with like Rizzo the Rat and
Michael Caine.
I mean, yeah, it's just great. Kermit, the whole thing.
The whole thing is classic. I mean, the thing about the Muppets that I like is, first of all, Michael Caine played it straight.
Yes.
So he didn't play it like he was playing it to Muppets. He was playing it like the emotional breakdown, everything was like, he just played it. He even said I'm going to play this like I'm doing a Shakespearean like play.
Yeah.
And which made it really dope, because then you had the wackiness of the Muppets, but contrasting with his real portrayal. It was like really dope. And then also the fact that they were Muppets or animals or whatever, like the way he would interact with them, like literally throwing them out of the, you know what I mean? It was just
great. It's great.
Yeah, he could really play into how evil Scrooge was. It was great.
Muppets made this leap from, they transcended Muppetum into this thing of like, you could personify the Muppet and the Muppet played it straight. And like you said, you could kick a Muppet. Like you could literally punt a Muppet.
Literally.
and it made you, and then like they would change screens and then you'd see the Muppet go and like fly into the Muppets were good at that in the way, even like at the Muppets Take Manhattan. Yeah. And all of the I love the Muppet. We should do a whole episode on Muppets. Yeah. And also the best word ever. Muppet.
Great.
I mean, it just feels like serotonin drips when you go Muppet.
Yeah.
Fozzie Bear, Gonzo, the Swedish Chef, Miss Piggy, Rolf. Phenomena. Animal on the drums. He would be like, woman. And he'd like chase it. God, it was great. Swedish Chef.
This was the first production post Jim Henson dying for the Muppet, for the Jim Henson Company.
You're kidding me.
I believe so. Yeah, it was the first one after post his death. Came out like what, 90? Oh God, 93. I forget. Usually I'm on top of it, but it's like early 90s.
I still think one of the most heartwarming, heartbreaking visuals is Kermit with his hand up on the picture of Jim Henson. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Oh, breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And then you think about it and it's like, Kermit's not real.
Well, Big Bird was at Jim Henson's funeral, so they really stuck. They really stuck to the bit. You can find it on YouTube.
I bet.
Hold on a second.
Was Snuffy there?
Probably.
Snuffleupagus? Listen, I'll tell you, man. If heaven is Muppets, then I'm gonna start going to church because I would love to live the rest of my eternity hanging out with Muppets. I think
Right.
like a Muppet is like a dog and a person because they do have like the shittiness of people, but the comfort and beauty of a dog that you just like want to pet them. Know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, 100%.
But also you kind of feel like creepy petting a Muppet.
Just like, but you see celebrities do it all the time. Whenever they're like next to Elmo, they're just
Just
like
petting Muppets.
yeah.
Also,
And meanwhile,
celebrities are
somebody's
creeps,
hand up
though.
his ass, and it's just like, all right.
And then they're like that. Okay, yeah, it's a celebrity. Muppet Christmas Carol is the best. Out of the old actor ones, there's one with I think Albert Finney.
Mm-hmm.
I think is the name. That one's really good. Do you like the old black and white ones?
I don't know, I watch it, but my top are I like the more modern ones, like the Muppets. Obviously, my favorite one is Scrooge with Bill Murray. To me, that's like my top.
That's a interesting take.
I love interesting takes.
Yeah, you do.
Hold on, pause for a second. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, all right. It's like clean. I'm at this Airbnb. They're like cleaning out.
Yeah, I was gonna ask where you were.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a lot of stories. As soon as I get back into my apartment, I'll tell you all my tales of
Where you are,
where I are, where I am, where I've been.
where you've been. Okay.
Okay, if you can't hear that, that's
We're
fine.
back.
Yeah, Bill Murray in Scrooge is my favorite one. Because, like you said, the take on it is so dope to me. Bill Murray is just,
Bill Murray.
He's Bill Murray. So like his comedic brilliance and take in this, it just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I love satire. Satire has always been like my brand of humor.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks, like that whole like just stuff that makes you think, but it's just like off the cuff. But yeah, Bill Murray, even though this came out in like either the late 80s or early 90s, as a modern day just business advertising, no less, which is
the evilest of all things.
Television, the most evil business of all.
The dark side of Christmas too, if you think about it.
Yeah, he's putting on a Christmas special, and all he wants to do is like make money for his advertisers. He doesn't give a shit how he does it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like naked dancers. It's like pyrotechnic. He could care less. I mean, it's just it's a great.
And it's New York. Isn't it New York or is it Chicago? It's New York. New York. And it's I just the griminess of like the taxis and the traffic and the people just, but then the shelter and the like the whole thing is just so cool the way that it like really does capture Christmas in the city.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing because a lot of these are like you look It's a Wonderful Life and like Pottersville and like Bedford Falls and all that stuff. Like it's a different thing. Christmas in the city is grimy. When it's snowing, it's just puddles of brown, dirty mud, water, and all that stuff. And it's and it's interesting because you were talking about Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray might be the closest thing to a human Muppet.
Right? Now or then?
Well, both. I think he's just an old Muppet now. But I mean, like, if there was a human that was like in the evolution of like Muppet to person, I think Bill Murray might be, and I mean that as a massive compliment.
Listen, of course.
I say Kermit 2028. We're ready for a green president.
Let's do it. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we have an orange one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it would be an interesting thing to like if you let Bill Murray just hang out with a bunch of Muppets. I think some serious art could happen. I think he would like he that's a fun level that he could. That's why I love him so much.
Yeah. No,
he doesn't take himself too seriously, you know what I mean?
He's brilliant and he doesn't overplay you don't know. It's like playing against a basketball player or a boxer where you can't figure him out. That's
No.
what his comedic timing is.
Yep.
You're just like, you can't, there is no formula. It's just him. And where he sticks and moves he'll find punchlines in pockets. So you're just like, I would have never thought to deliver the line that way. It's not a joke. That line isn't a joke on paper.
Right. It's his face. It's his delivery. It's his pretending to be exhausted with the person he's talking to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the voices and characters that he does within the conversations. And I think it must be, and you're hitting a good point, like about the boxing thing. Cause even imagine him like as like an acting sparring partner. You got to be on the top of your game because you don't know what he's going to do. I'd have to say probably one of my favorite Bill Murray movies is Meatballs. And it's just, he's a camp counselor. It's like, I think 1979 or 1980. So it's like a young Bill Murray and he's got the zany hair and it's just, he's so lovable and fun. And there's just like this kind of kid that's a little bit dorky that doesn't have a buddy at the camp. And Bill Murray takes him under his wing and he's like tough love kind of, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the kid ends up like, you know, winning the field day thing and all that. But it's just so cool. And I love him because he's like his character in most movies is like this anti-hero, the downtrodden dude. So it was cool to see him in Scrooged as like a jerk because you know the story.
Yeah.
And you know Scrooge gets his comeuppance. And it's cool to see him go through that.
That's the thing about this story in general, because every time you can tell it straight, but then it's just like, okay, they're telling it a Christmas story or a Christmas Carol, whatever. But it's finding the new way to do it that's not cheesy or boring or campy. And so whenever people can do it right, I really appreciate it. So I think they did it right with this
Absolutely.
one. And then you got, what is it? Was it Bobcat? It's Bobcat, right?
Yeah, Goldthwait.
Cat Goldthwait, who still had the voice back then, who was still doing the
yeah. It's crazy.
Man.
A lot of people have played Scrooge. Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Alistair Sim, Albert Finney, Patrick Stewart, George C. Scott, Michael Caine, Guy Pearce, Luke Evans, Russ Kemp, Tim Curry, Kelsey Grammer, Basil Rathbone. A lot of people. I mean, a million people. Walter Matthau?
Yeah, it's been done.
Yeah.
So many times.
It's it used to be a tradition that my family, we would go to the Schubert Theater in New Haven. It's like this beautiful theater. And we would see this production of Christmas Carol every year. And it was like we'd go see it live on stage and stuff. And it got to a point where, like, in my teenage years and my late teens, I was kind of just like, I don't know, man, I don't want to go with my family to this, you know? And then you get in there and you sit down and you're kind of looking around and you're like looking for the girl my age so I can roll my eyes and be like, you believe this shit? You want to go make out in the balcony or something? And the minute they pulled the curtain and it was old England and the snow's falling and you could see the lanterns and, you know, there's people like roasting chestnuts and caroling. Boom, dude, transfixed. Just, I'm in Christmas land now. And I'm a little kid. Right. And I'm like holding my mom's hand. I'm like, can you believe it? We're here. We're back. You know? Yep. And it just, it literally brought you back to a whole other time and place. And you know the story, but it feels new every time. And the three ghosts and as an adult, you look back on it and you go like, what a great, true story.
Yeah.
Because Christmas isn't what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes you go back and go like, oh man, yeah, it's all just the same lesson. Be nice to each other. Don't be selfish. Don't be rude, you know, like take care of each other and accept other people taking care of you.
And you don't know what other people are going through when they're not directly in front of you. You don't know what people have to go home to. You don't know people's stories when they're not at work, on the job, whatever the case. So be kind to each other. Not just, I mean, one, because it's the right thing to do, but also you don't know how you affect other people.
Right.
You know,
you can make someone's day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. You can absolutely make someone's day or break someone's day. But when you're a Muppet, you're probably going to make someone's day.
You
So thank you, Muppets.
Thank you, Muppets.
I
Yeah,
think
man.
we need like you know how they have these like rooms now, Charles, where you can go like destroy shit?
Mm-hmm.
We need like a Muppet room where you could just go in and just like spend an hour and the Muppet. It's like therapy, but like Muppet therapy.
Bro, did you see what happened when Elmo asked people how they were doing on Twitter?
No.
You missed that? Elmo asked people how they were doing. So he tweeted, "Hey, this is Elmo, just checking in to see how people are doing. Hope you're well." That maybe millions, but thousands upon thousands of people literally like pouring their hearts out on how they're emotionally doing. Like,
Oh yeah?
because Elmo was their friend, as a child or whatever. And like, I mean, it was like,
Dude,
bro,
I'm very happy that you said that because I thought you were going to tell me they were mean to Elmo.
no,
I'm sure a couple of trolls were, but like, you know what? Maybe imagine walking into therapy and instead of a curmudgeon-y old tired dude with coffee breath, it's Elmo
Mm-hmm.
or it's Grover, a cookie monster.
Who was your favorite Muppet?
Oh my God. I mean, Grover, Super Grover in particular.
Bro, I'm telling you, we're brothers from different mothers, bro.
Super Grover
Mine
was your
was
guy?
Grover.
Yeah, dude.
I had Super Grover VHS tapes.
Yes, dude. I had a Super Grover doll where the arms were very like malleable.
Yeah.
And he had the little the crown and everything and the little helmet. Super Grover.
Super Grover.
Oh.
Yeah, I had the books. I had the audio cassette tapes that you would put in and listen to while you would read the books, the whole nine. Yeah.
So great.
I would suffice to say, I don't know if that's the proper way to say that, but I would say that Grover, even though Fozzie was a comedian, didn't give me comedic vibes, not comedic chops, hack, if you will. And I got love for Fozzie, but he was hack. Grover, actual comic.
Yeah, totally.
Look at all the sketches and bits that he did on Sesame Street. The waiter, where he would get the wrong, and he would have to always run back into the kitchen, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just like great comedic presence and time.
You know what?
Yeah, Grover.
You know what else was cool about Grover was his face when he was frustrated. Him and Kermit both when they turned and looked at the camera and they would go, and their mouth was straight, but it was just like
yeah.
I would have to say my second favorite was Animal.
Animal was great. I was, I'm a drummer, so I loved Animal too.
He'd go, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him. We're gonna have to, next year, dude. 2025 is the year of the Muppet here at Are We Old Podcast. We'll have to dive into Fraggle Rock.
We're gonna dive into it all. Let's do a whole Jim Henson fuck all. We'll do it.
Yeah, Jim Henson Fest. Yeah. Henson Fest. Charles, I'm packing, right? We're doing a little move here, and I have been packing, and I thought the other day, you know what? Why don't I put on Christmas music and make this merry and bright?
Yeah.
And I said, hey Siri, put on. I gotta make sure she doesn't turn on. No, go to bed. I said, play me some Christmas music, classic Christmas music. Okay,
right.
Classic.
Right.
I want to hear that weird mafia Christmas, Christmas. Like the shit that played when like the mobsters buried bodies in the snow and shit.
Yeah.
And I want to hear Rudolph. I want to hear Burl Ives and like Rudolph the Red-Nosed. I want to hear these things, right? Couple nice songs came on, a little Rumpa-Pum-Pum, a little Silent Night, I was feeling good. Johnny Mathis, a little Malakalikimaka is the thing to say, right? And then I heard that horrible noise, the bells ringing, jiggity-dingity-dingity-dingity-dingity-dingity, and it was freaking Mariah Carey. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Nails on the goddamn chalkboard, dude.
Well, before the bells, it's the dramatic. It's like a whole.
The whole
dramatic thing, and then because it's like a drawn out. underneath the Christmas snow. It's like it's a whole
Do you know I would
production.
so much rather listen to that you just did than her bullshit.
It's a whole production before you even get to the bells. Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I remember one time I tweeted, all I want for Christmas is to never hear this song again, because it literally ruins my Christmas. And I don't know whether it's because it's become the sweet Caroline of idiots thinking they could sing Wasted, and it comes on and people just start singing it. And there's so many videos of people trying to cover it. And then there was that atrocious bomb of a lip sync that she did. That was just, I mean, hilariously bad. And I don't know why. I don't have a beef with Mariah Carey. I don't think about her. Sweet, sweet fantasy. Great. I thought she was hot when I was younger a little bit, and she would hit that crazy high note thing that if I tried it, I'd probably fall down and die of a heart attack. But there's something about this song that literally like melts the snow, that like burns the cookies, that knocks the tree over, that spills the milk. I hate it.
I love how we just finished talking about A Christmas Carol and Ebenezer Scrooge, and literally this song brings the Ebenezer Scrooge right out of you.
Do you want to know what I say when I hear that song? I say humbug, Charles. Humbug.
Bah-Humbug.
Yes. Bah, exclamation point, humbug.
Humbug.
2 exclamation points. Do you hate it as much as I do, or do you love this song?
Well, I don't think there needs to be an extreme on either side. I accept that it is the most played Christmas song, and that she gets $1 trillion every Christmas season. And I just accept it for what it is. No, I don't love the song. Like when it's on, I don't request it, and when it's on, I'll probably skip it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. I get it. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. And I will say, brilliantly done in its conception, as far as just like whoever wrote the thing and produced the thing. I mean, thinking of like, okay, let's do a classic-y sounding Christmas tune. Like they nailed it. Boom. Hook, line, and sinker.
It's like the perfect explosion of like glitter and wrapping paper and the mall and I mean, you could smell perfume at Macy's. You could feel the line, like it just, and that it sounds like ice skating. It sounds like
it sounds old school, but it's Mariah, and it's the whole thing. And I mean, look, I get it.
I think the reason why I hate it so much is because I remember like girlfriends in high school. Having a girlfriend in high school,
it always goes back to that.
It does, dude. It does. And I remember like going shopping for my girlfriend and getting her like whatever dumb bullshit fake bracelet that, you know what I mean? Like stupid shit, making her a CD, but going over to her house and like I'm wrapping gifts for my siblings and she's wrapping gifts for her siblings and she's singing along with it. And just when a high school girlfriend sings along with a song, when you graduate and you look back, you're never going to like that song. I mean, so especially maybe it's
breakup was bad.
Oh God, horrible on Christmas. No, but like you never, she's like, all I am going to leave
all
for
I
Christmas,
want for Christmas is for you to never see you again. For you to
she goes,
stop calling me.
All I want for Christmas is him.
Not you.
Not you. You're dumped, baby. Yeah, I hate it. But I wanted to ask you, and this might be a fun impromptu. We're not planning this, ladies and gentlemen. What are your top 3 Christmas songs, Charles McBee?
Oh, easy. I can rattle it off pretty quickly. Silent Night, specifically The Temptations.
Ooh.
I mean, it's I don't even want to go into a diatribe about what that song and what that interpretation means, especially like to Black people. But that is our sweet Caroline.
Okay.
When it comes to Christmas,
I did not know
Mariah
this.
Carey. All I Want for Christmas for Black people is Temptation, Silent Night.
Okay.
So Silent Night. Boys to Men also has a Silent Night version, which is really great, but that's like a side note.
Honorable
Um,
mention.
Let's see. I just had Drummer Boy. As a kid, I always loved the Drummer Boy song.
Parumpa Pum
Rumpa
Pum.
Pum Pum. I love every version. Not every version. There's some versions where I'm just like, shut up. But for the most part, I love it. I love that song. It's just the melody, the whole thing. It just
Okay.
always, ever since I was a kid, I thought it was a great song. And you know what? The third might be a coblication.
Wow, that's a new word.
Yeah. I think it's how Tiger Woods described himself back in
Coblication.
the day. He's like, I'm not black. I'm a coblication.
I'm a Cobra Kai Nation.
And then yeah, but I think it's the whole Charlie Brown Christmas album.
We Are Brothers.
You could pick any song off of Vince, whatever his name, album.
Garialdi. Vince Guaraldi Trio.
And
oh my God,
I mean, that whole album is like just one continuation of heaven, of just Christmas heaven.
I cannot agree with you more. It's literally like that song. I have that on my like Spotify liked songs, and it'll come on like Skating is a song that on that album that is just chills up the spine. You could play it in August when you're cutting the lawn, and all of a sudden there's a nip in the air and a frost at your nose. God, you're right. Great call.
What about you?
My other two, because I'm agreeing with you that the best Christmas thing ever. Oh God, dude. And Charlie Brown Christmas. I mean, can we just talk about,
let's do it.
I mean, Charlie Brown Christmas, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I love Charlie Brown.
They didn't want it, by the way. I forget. I think it was CBS, maybe CBS
didn't want it.
They didn't. They were gonna cancel it because they made it and they didn't think it was. They didn't like it and they were like, we're gonna cancel this. And I forget. I got to research again, but I remember learning about it. But I remember them not wanting it, and for some Christmas miracle, it made it on air. I forget why, but it made it on air and then became what it became. Yeah.
Wow.
But they actually cast real, fun fact, they cast real kids to play the Peanuts character.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's just great.
So great. It's the best. It's literally the best thing ever. And Linus when he just I'm not, again, I'm not religious, but Linus when he like reads passages from this, the Christmas story, and oh man, it's so great. And Charlie Brown's just so cool, and Snoopy's just Muppets and Peanuts, man. Muppets and Peanuts. That'll be the name of this episode. Muppets and Peanuts and Mariah.
If I was home right now, I'd go and grab all my Peanuts stuff. I got Peanuts galore. I'm a peanut head.
Literally. We're both peanut head
mofo.
My pillowcase as a kid was Snoopy with a sleeping cap on, and Woodstock was snoring away on his belly.
Oh, that's great.
Great. So my other two favorite Christmas songs are Christmas Rapping by the Waitresses. They were an 80s band, kind of a little punky. Do you remember the song, I Know What Boys Like? I know what guys want.
I think so.
I know what. It's like a 80s, like it's a great band, and they do this great song, Christmas Rapping. It's so cool. I recommend you listen to it. I mean, that's
Christmas Rapping.
Christmas in Hollis, Queens. I know. That's an honorable mention. My favorite other Christmas song is Father Christmas by the Kinks. So these are two rock and roll Christmas songs. Okay. It's a great song because it's got a good story behind it.
Yeah.
And it's about like, give my daddy a job because he needs one. He's got lots of mouths to feed and like all that. Like, so it's like, remember the people who have nothing when you're drinking down your wine and stuff like that, So it's almost this kind of like, don't get wrapped up in the commercialism of it all. But what's hilarious is that they filmed this video for it in like July in LA. You know what I mean? Like it's hilarious, but it's a great song. And the use of the sleigh bell in a Christmas song is like it's like the seasonal cowbell. You know what I mean? So it's nice and it plays well. And I think it's one of the all-time greatest songs. And I'll listen to it not around Christmas time. So
I have to check it out.
yeah,
Maybe I'm sure I've heard it.
Yeah, you definitely have. But I want to check out also the Smokey Robinson.
Which one? Well, he has a Christmas album.
Well, didn't you say he was
Temptations?
The Temptation. My bad.
Yeah.
Temptations. I got to listen to that. I want to check that out. I've definitely heard it. I love Christmas music.
Yeah.
Hey, listeners, what's your favorite Christmas song? Let us know at areweoldpodcast@gmail.com. What do you think of Mariah Carey's abomination, I'll call it? I don't know. It's just because of girlfriends and
it always is. You ask any guy above the age of 30 where his where his angst comes from is some girl that broke his heart in like 3rd grade. It just is.
Yeah, man, it really is. We got a nice an email that I wanted to share with you.
Wonderful.
And I wanted to say thank you to we'll just say Rebecca. Thank you very much for this email. It says, "Hey guys, as someone who is the same age, I'm really enjoying the podcast. I think you'll appreciate this. Recently, I've started listening to podcasts instead of namaste music when doing yoga. I just did a yoga session at home while listening to your Thanksgiving podcast. I literally fell over, or almost did, while trying to balance in various poses. Hilarious, but I will save your podcast for times when I'm not trying to stand on one foot or on my head. Thanks so much." Yeah, we should put out a disclaimer, Charles, that if you hurt yourself while listening to the podcast, if you're trying to stand on your head, is that on us? I mean, do we need to...
Listen, just understand, as comedians, we take it as a win. Like if somebody croaked over in the middle of one of our stand-up shows, yeah, condolences, but also we're bragging about that.
Exactly.
It's going to be our credit going forward. We literally killed.
I put a sticker on my helmet when I get a good hit like that. Have you ever had anybody like drop during a show?
Yeah, I've had some weird stuff like that. I've had one guy, I mean, this was years ago. It was at the comic strip, and like I don't know what he ended up having. I don't know if it was a stroke or a heart attack, but like they had to stop. I mean, essentially, I'm not here's my thing, Mike. I'm not so gung-ho as far as comedy or arrogant to think that someone having a stroke means that I need to be able to kill even harder while this guy is having a stroke.
Agreed.
Because you'll hear comics like that. Yeah, I can, any situation that happens. No, shows pause for a second. There's someone's life happening right now. Hey, everybody, we're done with the yucks. We're gonna need some medical attention here. So stuff like that, like but there's been a couple times where like anything medical, I'd stop the show and just be like, hey, let's make sure whatever. But I've had fights like happen during a show. Yeah. Where in those cases I would like keep it going because it'd be like security or whoever dragging the people out, and so now you gotta like make that a thing. But yeah. What about you? Anybody croak at any of your gigs?
I had a crazy one happen in Vermont at Vermont Comedy Club. Shout out Vermont Comedy Club. I love that room.
Yeah, great.
I was doing a show, and it was not long after COVID, and it wasn't a packed room. This guy in the front to the stage left, he was laughing really, really hard. He was having a really good time, almost to like, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to the right, and then I start to look over, and I was going to comment and be like, you're really having a good time. This is like 9 minutes into a closing set, right?
Yeah.
And right when I turn to look at him and I go to acknowledge him, he goes like this and goes, and just like stops breathing and goes, and just hits the ground, dude. And he sounded like you dropped like a cutting board on a hardwood floor. Like he clunk, hit the ground hard. And I'm like, oh my God. And his wife like screams. And I go, turn the lights on. I'm like, and I jump off the stage towards him and I bring him my water. And I'm like, here. And I'm like, is he okay? Does this happen? And like, somebody go get the manager. Like, we're yelling, right?
Yeah.
Like, somebody call 911. So the manager comes in. We all kind of get around this dude, right? The last thought in my mind is going back on stage,
Right.
So the manager goes, Mike, why don't you just go backstage? Like, we'll let you, let me take care of this. So I go backstage and I'm just kind of like jarred a bit.
Yeah.
I just watched this dude keel over and I'm like, coming out of the pandemic when, all we saw was death and destruction. I'm like,
Right.
God, I thought we were done with this, So the manager comes back, or no, one of the servers comes back to the green room and goes, the manager told you can go back on now. And I'm like, what? We're not done? Like,
Yeah.
what? We all just what? So I go back out on the stage and I'm like, they're getting him kind of like out to like the main bar area.
Right.
And they go, Mike, you can go ahead. Like, we'll go ahead and get started again. And I'm like, what? I'm like, are you guys cool? I don't even remember what I was talking about. And there's a dude who was sitting at the other side, never got up, just sat in his seat, and he's drinking his beer and he's watching this all go on. And I go, I don't even remember what I was saying. And he goes, you were talking about how some little kid called you fat. And he just like brought me right. And I'm like, thanks, dude. And look, that was a fun. I'm like, that's incredible. And he was like, I got you.
Yeah.
Like, he was like my spotter,
Yeah, that's great.
And then we do the set, and I'm like halfway through the set. I'm like, you remember when that guy died a couple minutes ago, everybody? And like, we had to laugh about it. But turns out the dude had like long COVID or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And every time he would cough or laugh or sneeze a bunch or whatever, he would faint. And
grief.
I know. Peanuts, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
He then came to the show. I don't know if he didn't expect I was good or something. He thought maybe I wasn't going to laugh. He goes, Finoia, nah, I got this. I ain't going to laugh. Well, I killed him. So he wasn't. We all thought, oh, is he wasted? Is he this? Is he that? Sober, actually very apologetic. He was like, I'm so sorry. Tell Mike, we come see him every time he's here. And I hope I didn't ruin the show. So they were kind of like, oh, you did it to him because you made him laugh. And I was like, ha.
Yeah, well.
But I'll tell you what, man, it was terrifying to see. But then after finding out that he was like, okay, and whatever, it was like, all right, cool. So Rebecca, we apologize, but we don't really.
That right. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
No, but
wear
we
a helmet.
Rebecca. Thank you.
We also love the idea that you're listening to us while you're doing yoga.
While she's in like downward dog or something like that.
She's doing like dead baby pose and shit. Or dead bug. Not dead baby.
Dead baby.
What the hell is dead baby?
I love how I just yes-anded you just now.
I also don't do yoga.
That's how little I know about yoga. I'm like, dead baby pose. That sounds about right.
Yeah, fetus pose. No, I think there's like sleeping baby. Oh, child pose. That's what it's called. Why did I call it?
Lord, what a leap you made.
I know. I went from dead baby to child pose. Well, whatever. It's dead bug is the pose. You lay on your back and you hold your feet. I think I don't know.
What a rabbit hole we just went down.
Are we old podcast at gmail.com? What's your favorite fake yoga pose, ladies and gentlemen? We hope that you guys are enjoying the pod. We're loving making it for you. And we've got one more Christmassy episode coming at you next week. And then it actually comes out on, maybe we'll release it a day or so early on Christmas Eve. And you can listen to it when you cuddle up and go to bed. We'll read you Christmas stories.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Stay young.